everybody, my name is Christine Lasam. I lead Communicate Experiences for Accenture Interactive in the Middle East. We truly are a bunch of passionate people committed to delivering powerful storytelling and great experiences. With me today is a great friend and an impressive artist, Pablo Gonzalez Vargas. He is the virtual events impresario, a celebrated figure in the Burning Man scene, Mayan warrior founder, and the artist behind Illumina. We've been working together in the last year to bring his craft in the region, and today we're so excited to talk about the expanding multiverse. We believe the convergence is happening now. We are virtual events experiences. Hello, Pablo. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and where you believe the needle is going to flex in the future of events experiences.
Hello, Christina. Thanks for having me. My background is in radio, TV production, event production. I also run a fintech company in Mexico, aimed for the unbanked. And I'm also an artist. I have done this project called Mayan Warrior at Burning Man for the last 9 years, and we have built a great community and done a lot of events around the world. And I think right now we're living in a very exciting time regarding like how many new ideas are coming up of how to gather people in the online world and in the physical world. It will be great to see this quick video of what I'm talking about. So have a look.
Wow, that's truly mind-blowing. And the interesting part is that I really wanted to go to the physical Burning Man and then miss the digital one. And now it's a case of a tale of two events, physical versus digital. 2020 has definitely ushered this one. There is a prediction that the events of the future will always be a hybrid one. What's your take on that, Pablo?
Yes, so actually it was very interesting to be a part of this massive virtual event. I think it's the largest virtual event in history that it was interactive in all parts, in all ends, of all participants. The experience was very interesting because we really tried to recreate the random moments that make an event special. We had a lot of learnings, a lot of findings, because we had to recreate this magical place that we all know, and call it a festival, call it whatever, with the right tools, with the right scenery, and of course the interactive element, right, of the people, mingling there and having this serendipity moments. I think we were able to achieve a good thing. Of course, it's the first version, but I think the future of events that we're already seeing this, is that you're seeing both things happening at the same time, because the business model is changing, right? And now you can monetize very easily the virtual events. It doesn't matter if it's just 100 people or 1,000 or 100,000 people, right? You can now monetize. That's pretty democratic. Now you can go log into whatever platform, and have your fans pay. So I think that's reachable right now. I think that's something that has changed right now. So in the future, it's obvious, right, that you're going to have those simultaneous things happening, the physical one and the virtual one. no? And these two interacting also together. So we're already seeing this trend in a very small scale, but I think it's very easy to do. It's reachable. You don't need satellites. You don't need nothing, right? The payment platforms are already there for anyone to tip or to gift or to donate to the artist or to the cause. So yeah, I think next year or the future in midterm, we're gonna always see these two business models combined, because I think they complement each other a lot.
I mean, that's an interesting take. So we've clearly established that the hybrid model is, here to stay. The thing that I'm curious about, and maybe you can take us a little bit more in depth, how do you forge meaningful connections in a virtual event? I mean, it's clear that the physical event has that inherently, but what kind of connections can you forge in a virtual space?
I had very incredible moments. We did a few virtual events, and I think it's the same feeling that we all had when we started using chat rooms in the early days of internet, right? Right now it's at a very early stage. Before, back then, you used to just chat with just some guy that had this
MIRC. I am an MIRC baby, which reveals my age pretty much. Oh,
yeah, exactly. Me too. So in that kind of serendipitous moment and feeling, it's kind of like coming back because you are interacting with other people in the same space virtually. This whole idea of meaningful connections, they're made out of two things, the context, the setting, the interactivity. The platform that you're using has to be full on interactive, full duplex audio where you can hear everything that you're experiencing right there, right? And also the novelty of whatever the scenery and the interactivity it's happening at the platform, in the platform, right? So those elements really take you to have an experience, a meaningful, memorable experience, just like a normal event, right? So I think we're just starting to see the beginnings of these new technologies of how to interact inside. So and just to close this idea, doing this Burning Man virtual event, I bought headsets, of course, and I invited my son to join, right? My 11-year-old son, and it was very intriguing how different my interaction was with him inside this world, right? Because I didn't have, the filters and, the whatever image or idea you have of the person because you're seeing it physically, but when you change the
avatars,
vessel,
yeah,
inside the virtual space, you don't have those prior ideas or filters, and you're just getting kind of like a cleaner feed of that interaction. So I think we're gonna see very interesting new ways of interacting with each other on those platforms.
And connecting, yes.
Of course, you have the traditional ways to connect. We all know them. But I think there is a whole new world of possibilities using new technology. So let me show you a video of something that I created that uses this.
Welcome. I'm Illumina, an interactive light and sound sculpture powered by your collective heart energy. In this experience, you will each use your breath to enter a state of coherence or deep harmony with yourself, one another, and the universe. Please connect the heart math sensor to your earlobe. The sensor will measure your individual heart rhythms to determine your collective state of coherence. The deeper your state of collective coherence, the brighter I shine. Let's begin. voice. This is the power of the collective heart.
That truly resonates with me. Math coherence, that kind of internalization. Talk to us more about it.
So yes, Christine. So this technology that we used measures the coherence of the heart. And basically the coherence is how deeply you're meditating and how deeply your connection is with yourself. So we use this technology and experience, right, to kind of like do this exercise of, first of all, you connecting with yourself, the group connecting, right, connecting as a group, as a collective, right, and also with Mother Earth, right? And why do I say that? Because we all resonate in the same frequency when we are in coherence as the base frequency of the Schulman frequencies of the Earth. So this project kind of like takes the people that experiences to another level of connection using technology. And right now, there are very specialized sensors that you use to have this experience. But I think that there is gonna be a whole new way to do this with wearables, right? Because at the end, what we use is kind of a wearable, right? But now you have the APIs to access wearables like Apple Watch or other smartwatches, right? And now it opens up a whole new range of combinations and permutations of how to interact with online events and virtual, of course, right? And I think if you grab this concept and we talk about how people can interact with physical events if they are at home, right? This like hybrid between the physical and virtual, how you can make the people interact with the physical one, right? So now we're living in an age that you can connect anything to anything. So now you can connect the wearables to the lighting of the event or the video map, or you can make a piece of art of like people interacting from home. And I think, yeah, something resonates with all of us when we are part of something bigger. That's something that I think it comes from thousands of years ago when we're just nomads and we were like tribes and we were just working for something bigger than ourselves. So when people experience that, call it when we go to a soccer match and we're in a stadium, we're in a concert, we're part of something bigger, and that feels amazing, right? So if we can grab this concept of interactivity into like this bigger event that it's happening physically, even though some of the audience is at home, I think there is a whole canvas there to explore.
My son is in LA. I haven't seen him since, like a year, nearly a year now. And say you have the Illumina in a physical space in LA, and I am here in Dubai. How do we unlock that technology if we have the same wearable in a hybrid event? So he's there physically, I'm here virtually, we're experiencing Illumina. How does that connection work in the simplest terms?
Yes, Christine, that's actually a good example of a hybrid event, right? You have your son in LA and you're in Dubai. And first to define actually what we mean about a hybrid event, we mean that you have a physical space and you have, people interacting in the physical space, but you also have the virtual space interacting with the physical space, right? That's a hybrid, but in your particular case, right, there is another layer that we need to look at, that you're doing a parallel or shared experience with your son, right? Because you both are experiencing the same thing, even though it's a hybrid event. So that's another layer that we need to account for of the parallel concept, right?
So based on that context, what we're going to see for 2021 is an amalgamation of hybrid events and parallel shared experiences, leveraging wearable tech, and that's basically the future of events contextualized in this example.
Yes, so I guess we're seeing these different modalities in event production, right? You have the physical, you have the hybrid, you have parallel experiences. And we're already seeing a little bit of this, right? And that's kind of like the base, the ecosystem. Then we're gonna see a more mature business model around it, right? Because we talked before, we all been forced to kind of like find ways to make money or revenue streams. So of course we're gonna see both models combined. But the interesting part is actually, that's the ecosystem, and then we're gonna see the permutations of combinations in all the technologies that we have right now, right? Because you have VR wearables, you have the controls that give you tactile feedback, and all of this combined with, amazing broadband connection, we're gonna start to see like new ways of making events and making new experiences. And I think we have to sit back a little bit and just watch how this ecosystem is going to grow. And I think it's very, very similar to what we saw in the app stores of this world, right? You have first an ecosystem, right? And then you have to wait to see, all the creativity of all the developers, taking advantage of this like new ecosystem to build great things. So I think that's what we're going to see in 2021.
So speaking of unleashing creativity, is it too much to ask for me to bring Burning Man here in the Middle East? But joking aside, what's next for you in the Middle East? How do you envision bringing your craft, your years of experience in the space of virtual events or physical events in the region?
Well, that's a great question. I guess I'm super excited to even think, right, to have that canvas, like Al Ula, the biggest desert in Saudi Arabia, that backdrop, that canvas. I think for any artist to design with that in mind, with the scale that it could have, right? Because just the place alone is amazing. And how many opportunities you have to have that for a backdrop, right? So I love deserts, right? I started my artist career in a desert in Nevada. And this will be the most exciting project I could imagine, right? Having the Expo, which is the biggest event in the world. So I envision doing something like Illumina in the desert with all of these new iterations and concepts that we have talked about, right? And for the Expo, I think I would love to collaborate in the Pavilion of Mexico, right? I think it's a great platform for upcoming artists to showcase their work, and again with all of these new tools, right? Because I think we're all part of the same experience, right? It's not segmented. It's not we all in experiencing the new right now as a collective. So I just can't wait to see what happens there.
I mean, I can't agree more. We're just as excited as you are to see that happening and unfolding. And I think that brings our session to a close, Pablo. I'd love to discuss further predictions, but I have to cap it here. I want to thank you immensely for your insights. I've learned so much, and I think our audience would also agree. That's it for our session, folks. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you have any questions for us, you want to fire up a conversation about the predictions we've discussed here today, drop us a note. We'd love to hear from you. And see you hopefully next year with more new things to come.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and see you in the Middle East soon.